I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Novi Public Library, and I would ask that everybody join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, you've all had a chance to look over the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda as printed. Pardon?
Oh, we have to do the roll call.
Duh, okay. I have it right down here, underlined too, right? Roll call, yes, thank you, Mr. Secretary, for, I knew that, I just wanted to see if you were awake. Okay,
Trustee
roll.
Crawford,
Here.
Trustee Dooley,
Here.
Trustee Gura-Murthy,
Here.
Trustee Mitchner,
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Trustee Stirring,
Here.
Trustee Bartlett is here, Trustee Chair Curry is absent, Trustee Student Representative Carcarla. Here. And Student Representative Salim is absent.
Oh, bless you.
Okay, now we can approve the agenda. Does anyone have any additions? Was that a miscalculation?
No, that was a motion to approve.
Oh, good,
Because you
okay.
had mentioned it earlier,
Okay.
but I don't want to, if
All
anyone
right.
has additions, I don't want to
Okay,
step on that.
do we have a second?
I'll
Second.
second. Oh,
Okay,
we'll give it to Mark.
all right, Mark, second. And any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Trustee Dooley,
Yes.
Trustee Gura-Murthy,
Yes.
Trustee Mitchner,
Yes.
Trustee Stirring,
Yes.
Trustee Bartlett votes yes, Trustee Crawford.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, you've all had a chance to review the consent agenda, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
I'll second.
Oh, I'm sorry, what did you say? I'm sorry. Trustee Mitchner?
Motion to approve the consent
Okay.
agenda as printed.
And
I
I'll
don't know.
second.
For some reason or other, I don't know, maybe I'm just not leaning forward enough or something. I'm not hearing it. Okay, so I
okay.
have a motion to approve and a second.
Yeah.
All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Trustee Gura-Murthy,
Yes.
Trustee Mitchner,
Yes.
Trustee Stirring,
Yes.
Trustee Bartlett votes yes, Trustee Crawford,
Yes.
Trustee Dooley.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. Well, today, I'm really excited that we have a presentation. You probably in the audience have noticed we're all wearing similar attire tonight. This will be about my first time wearing a T-shirt. Trustee Mitchner, you had something
I just want to
to
make sure
share?
claims and warrants was done.
Pardon?
Did we cover claims and warrants? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all,
Did we?
it
I'm
was a
so
consent
sorry. Okay,
agenda.
thank you.
Yeah.
She said we're done, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I believe you said Danielle is,
Yes, unfortunately Danielle was not
You're gonna
able
be
to
covering
join
her
us
part.
tonight, a health issue, so that kept her at home. But I wanted to give you some information because this is a great time to talk about summer reading.
Yes.
You all have your brochures. I brought you copies in front of you, left a few also for our people who are joining us in the audience today. But let me just talk very quickly just about summer reading. Very excited about the theme this year, which is Oceans of Possibilities, which when you have a theme like that, there's so much you can do with it. Thank you all tonight for wearing your T-shirts. We will be happy to market you and your beautiful faces and share that you are also readers, because this program is for all ages, not just for children. 30 years ago, that is what public libraries focused on, was our children reading. But what we realize is if we don't have those role models, which are our adults, our parents, our grandparents, these programs just can't be as successful, and we want them to be. So the Novi Public Libraries program is for all ages, and we require or request that everyone read with us this summer. So far, which I'm excited to share with you, 1,300 guests have already registered for this program, and it's only been going for 2 weeks. So I think that's wonderful numbers to start off. Also, 7,300 books have already been logged as read, which is another huge feat already, yes. And our program goes until August 13th. So there is lots of time if someone is watching us this evening and they have not registered to be part of our summer reading program. You have lots of time to do it, and you have lots of time to join and read with us this summer. wonderful programs all throughout, which you have some examples of. Check our website, check our social media, because that's where you'll find all the up-to-date information about what we're doing. I'm excited to tell you that we had wonderful sponsors for this summer, and if you look at the back of your brochure, the City of Novi, Friends of the Novi Public Library, Novi Community School District, Paradise Park, the Goddard School, Vibe Credit Union, and Michigan State Fair all came in as wonderful sponsors of our reading program. So again, I want to thank you for your support tonight, Library Board, because you look fantastic in your t-shirts. And I know that all of you are reading with us this summer. If you're not, again, lots of time to do so. And if you don't mind, using your social media and putting out titles that you're reading or what you might be going to in terms of a summer program, just to keep that momentum going through the summer.
If you send us our picture, we'll all
I will.
post it.
You'll put it on your HOA Facebook and let them know, okay? We're gonna use you as our biggest marketers this summer.
I would like to know,
Yep.
I would like to know why your t-shirt, whoever you ordered t-shirts from, if you're as wide as I am, why do I have to be 7 feet tall? Because this shirt goes all the way past my knees, actually. So I don't know.
We're
what
gonna
the
have to
deal
think
is.
about pre-shrunk or something in that,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know
in
what
the
I'm gonna
future.
do, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Go ahead.
not at all. But I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the program and with the information that you have in front of you tonight. Yes.
This is great. We always do a great job. You always do a great job. You always do a great job. I see the staff over there with the summer reading program, and I get excited. Although I'm not a kid, I do participate because I like free stuff and I like to read. Hashtag. Is there a hashtag that we can use to give that extra branding that you'd like?
Sure, I will check on that for you.
Okay, thank
Absolutely.
you. That's a fun idea.
Great. Anything else? Yes.
So I have to say, this is amazing. I'm already thrilled about this. My boys are all signed up. So I loved how you said the 7,300 books. Is this, like some of these stats, it would be awesome.
We
Maybe
will.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Promise
post
you,
it like
yes.
every.
And these are numbers too that the state also requires that we keep throughout the summer as well, so that we can report them in our state aid. So we
Okay.
will make sure that you are kept up to date throughout the summer.
More,
Absolutely.
okay. I was even thinking like motivating the kids in different groups, saying, hey, there are so many tweens who've already signed up, or.
We
so-
can do that.
Okay, cool.
Yes, and some social media posts as well.
Excellent.
Great.
That'll motivate my boys for sure.
You got it.
Do you think that this is the largest, 2 weeks,
I
that
would
we've
have to
had?
look, and we'd have to go back probably pre-COVID
Yeah.
to get some good numbers. However, COVID actually brought out a lot of readers, so I'll be happy to look at some comparisons for you.
It just sounds like we're right out the gate, so it sounds exciting.
It is very exciting.
In the
And
data, I'm sorry, in
No,
the
go ahead.
data reporting though, is the summer reading program separate data, or is it included in all books?
We
taken out?
separate it out specifically for summer reading, just because of some of the stats we have to keep for the
And
state.
it's not duplicate numbers,
Nope.
it's separate.
Yep,
Okay.
it is. The last thing before we go is to just put out a huge shout out and thank you to my amazing staff. The Information Services Department and the Support Services Department take on the bulk of summer reading. When it comes to, all the programming, that's coming out of Information Services, all the planning for prizes, all the planning for book lists and things like that, and just all the events that are coming, that comes out of your Information Services Department, which all of you know is short-staffed this summer. So they are working super hard with with less people right now and an hour. So, and they've done a tremendous job, and I think they have a fabulous program set up. And then the Support Services Department, if you're checking out loads and loads of books, which we hope you are, they then have to, take those books in, process them, and get them back on the shelf and keep them moving throughout the building. And we tend to see our highest numbers of checkouts throughout the summer. So if you looked in the past, it was last July, I believe, we had over 100,000 items just checked out in July last year. So that means our staff is touching all that and moving it so that it's on the shelf or going to another library or being shared. So that department also deserves a big shout out. And then our facilities department, because they are taking down and setting up program after program and getting us ready, for the whole summer. And a lot of time and energy goes into that as well. Dana is your, creative person in putting all of this information together, which comes from a number of people, but her creative task here, as you can see, I think is fabulous. So I also want to point that out. But it wouldn't be done without that amazing staff. So thank you, MPL staff.
Please convey, we don't say it often enough. We all really appreciate the staff, and we may say it to you, but we don't really often express publicly anyway how much we appreciate them. I can speak for everybody here, I know for a fact, that how much we appreciate and admire the staff that we have at Novi Public Library, because we know they're doing more with less. So, please pass on the word to all of our staff that this board really is enthused about all they do, and we appreciate everything that they do.
Absolutely, and happy to use your words.
Okay. Oh, yes.
I just had two more things in this. So one, I like that you had a little addition here this year, adding the fine free piece.
Yes,
I mean,
we tried to get it in. It was last minute, but we tried to work it in.
that was brilliant. It's because we talked about,
Yep.
can we list this somewhere? You all remember that? So it's nice that you put it right in the packet. That's
Yep.
awesome. So good job on that. And then lastly, I noticed that there's no log this time.
Right.
But it's all digital.
It is.
If somebody wanted to log, would that be okay, like on their own, or, I'm only thinking of people who don't
You
have.
totally can on your own.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have, in the actual Carl catalog,
Mm-hmm.
you can log your books in terms of, what you've read. That can be kept as a record for yourself, but you have to initiate that. But all the logging is done online with Beanstack, with
And
the
the
actual
reason,
software.
okay, and that's helpful. The reason why I asked is just for people that don't have technology. That was
Right.
all, accessibility.
And Shannon, do you actually have a paper log?
That would be weak.
It did
That
go,
would be,
it did go all
Mr. Stern.
digital. It did.
that would be.
But we, at the desk,
Okay, that'd be my mom too.
if a patron, if a guest wants to, we can help them log it in for them.
Okay.
So too. I know that the librarians would be very.
So they could
helpful
always
to
come to
do.
the library and
Yes,
log it there.
and they can use the computers at the library to do it as well.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Any other questions? No?
No, we're good.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce, let me get to my notes here. First, Shannon O'Leary, she is our international language librarian. Shannon, come on down. And she's joined by Kristen Moroza and Hannah Thornson. And they are representatives from Dear Asian Youth of Novi. Shannon's gonna talk, we're gonna have to go right over to the podium. Shannon is going to talk just a little bit. She gave me some information to put in your packet, which you did receive. And she's just gonna talk very quickly about the program and what we did with this amazing group this past spring. So Shannon, turn it over to you. Thank you.
Okay, so back in March, January. God, the time has really flown. I was approached by a group called Dear Asian Youth of Novi. Hannah and Janvi were the two main co-leaders of this. And they said, AAPI, which is Asian American Pacific Islander Month, is coming up in May. We'd like to work with you and do some programming. We'd like to do some displays, and of course, I got really excited. And over the course of a couple months, we started to kind of slowly iron out what we wanted and kind of what we were doing. So, Janvi and Hannah both coordinated at least about 20 volunteers to set up about 5 different displays, and they had a book list for me for the lobby table, which is like a whole bunch of books. So they gave me like a whole list. They gave me posters to put up. They helped me decorate the second floor desk. They put up the bookshelves. The glass cases were both done by them. So, and then to top matters off, they ran 2 programs all by themselves. I was just buying the supplies, and they're in the background if they needed me, but they ran the show, and I'm excited to work with them in the future. Hannah, did you want to say a couple things? Or, yeah.
Hi. Which one of these words? Okay. My name's Kristen Mrozek. I'm actually an English teacher over at Novi High School. And first year in the building, and I was approached by Hannah and Janvi at the beginning of the year, like, hey, Miss Morozek, do you want to do a club with us? And I'm like, sure. And that turned into a snowball effect of all of this. And what's absolutely fantastic is Dear Asian Youth Novi is a part of a national organization that seeks to uplift, provide allyship, enhance, and really bring together Asian voices. And the Asian community is so big, especially here in Novi. What's that stat? 42 or 24 in the city and 46 at the high school. And I don't know if any of you have gone like in the golden hour after school from the high school to the public library and seen all those teenagers who go get a Starbucks and go hang out for a couple hours. But those kids are in your library every single day. And when my students were like, hey, can we, what can we do in the community? And I'm like, well, the library is right here. It's an amazing resource. Let's do something. And they did it. I was along for the ride. We were along for this. Like, we'd have moments like the day they went and picked out books. I think it's understated how much work went into this, because these students went in to pick out books, and they picked over 100 different titles.
Yes.
100, I think a couple hundred, wasn't it? It was a lot.
They still a couple hundred, and they gave me a breakdown by age.
Yeah.
So
not only are they showing like that they want to show the community, these are Asian voices, but also, this is the depth of their understanding, and they dug in your shelves for hours. So I am super excited to have this partnership, and I don't know if in your are they seeing the pictures? Are you seeing the pictures? I'm sorry, I get to brag about my kids as much as I want because they are amazing. And so I'm really excited for more things in the future. And just saying, after being in contact with other group leaders at the high school, there is definitely possibilities for other groups to come forth. I know for Hispanic Heritage Month, we were kind of talking, we're kind of throwing things out there, because I might be doing stuff with that, and then Black History Month, and then other months. So we're really excited about these partnerships, and I am never going to have a day of rest again. So Hannah, do you want to come up and say something? I'm so proud of my kids.
just FYI, all the book displays that they put up, within the week, I had to restock them completely.
Nice.
Yeah, so we definitely had a big uptick in the Asian literature at the library, because I was replenishing those book displays every day.
That's great.
Nice.
So you guys should be very proud of yourselves.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I'm the founder and the co-lead of Dear Asian Youth Novi. So first of all, I would like to thank the NPL staff and Ms. O'Leary and Ms. Morozek and the API community in Novi. So for our specific events, we had two events. The first one was the tea tasting event. I'm not really sure what it was called exactly, but Taste of Tea. And we had different kinds of tea, as well as some Asian snacks for people to munch on and just enjoy the different tastes that the Asian continent has, as they're well known for tea. This was just amazing to see all the different age groups who are interested in joining, because that's not really something we can see at the high school, as we're only teenagers and maybe some adults from the Novi High School staff. And for our volunteers, we wore our cultural clothing. Mine specifically was a yukata, which is a lighter kimono. I'm half Japanese, so yeah, that's what I wore. Others wore their own clothing from their cultures. And a lot of attendees were impressed by how beautiful these clothings were, and a lot of them were approaching us, and they were like, "Oh, what is this clothing? Where is it from?" And then we got to educate them in a really nice way, and that was just amazing. And we had 75 attendees.
Just a heads up, we had over 100 people register, and I completely forgot that it was Comic-Con that weekend, so that is my bad.
I think 75 is amazing.
I think so too.
And hopefully in the future, we would like to maybe feature some local Asian businesses to maybe like hand out the tea. We kind of bought them from Amazon, so.
Well, we got some from One Bowl Market too, so that is really one local business. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Put it on the list, Anna.
Yep. And going on, the next event we did was a story time and craft, mostly for the younger ages, maybe from like 3 to 9, that kind of age group. And we had a variety of books that were representative in the API community. My personal favorite was The Proudest Blue, which was about a girl learning what the hijab was. And I remember one of the volunteers saying, oh, it's me in the book. Like, I'm so excited to read this. She was absolutely phenomenal when she was reading because she was just so passionate about just reading something that's representative of her culture. And for the craft, we had origami and some like coloring pages for those who can't really, those who are younger, yeah. And that was a success, as like some people who didn't really know that was happening, that this event was happening, kind of like hopped in and made some origami, and that was a success as well. So to go back to when I founded this chapter here, I found this chapter last year around like May, when a lot of anti-Asian hate crimes were rising, especially after the pandemic. And when my orchestra teacher, Mr. V, gave us the opportunity to talk about those like emotions going on, it was a great opportunity to realize how important those like discussions and creating a space safe was for our community. And that's what motivated me to create this chapter, and I hope that this chapter kind of flourishes on and empowers the next generation and on and on. So yeah.
If I could add
Yeah.
real quick, this all started with a simple email. And so this is, truly, it did, yes. It started with a simple email, and and the fact that I know that I have some very energetic, and Shannon, you truly are. And I mean that with all my heart, because we have so much energy on our staff, that I knew that I could forward that email to Shannon and say, hey, what do you think? You know, I know we've got a lot going on, but what are your thoughts, and what do you think about, connecting with them in some way to see how we might start? And that's all it takes. And I guess, and having the opportunity to touch base with Kristen when she was in the building collecting everything from the displays, I got a chance to see her. So I want to encourage other groups in our community to do the same. We don't know all of you are out there. So I want to put that plug out to please reach out to us. Let us know who you are. We don't know everyone, and we certainly do want to connect with you. And that's how simple things like that can happen, is if you send an email or you make a call. If we don't know you, we want to get to know you. That's what I wanted to share tonight, and that's why I asked them to come, so that they could speak a little bit about this, because I do believe there's a lot more opportunities out there for all the many cultures and groups and people that we have in our community that we want and that we are serving and we should be serving. So, ladies, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming tonight. I know this is an evening, and I quickly asked, it was on my feet, here I am in the hallway going, will you come to a July meeting? I tend to think right then and on the spot, and then will it work? And it did, and they did show up tonight. So I truly appreciate your time.
Well, certainly, I'm so excited, and I'm sure other board members here, all the board members are very excited to see, your excitement and enthusiasm is certainly contagious. And I think it's contagious for the people that you're serving, for the people that came to the programs. They're going to want to continue because they're going to want to, you better keep your energy up. I don't know what you're going to do. Because they're going to really want to continue this group. I had never heard of that particular group before. So I'm so happy you were on your toes, Hannah, to find that and to bring it forward to us. You know, that's really all it takes is somebody with that spark, with the idea to bring it forward, and then other people getting involved. No one person can do it alone. So it was a great collaboration. This is a very perfect kind of thing that we love to see going on at the library, because we have very limited staff. They can't do it all. But we love to assist and to see it going forward like this. So great news. I mean, couldn't be happier about hearing all about the program. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yes, Trustee Mishner.
Okay, so I just want to say, amazing job. I'm so impressed. And the cool thing is I did notice the displays, and I was captured by them. They're very captivating. So it's really nice to hear you all talk about how it came together. And teachers are leaders, and you inspire leaders. And I just want to really lift you up as well, because I know you're like, I'm lifting up everybody else, and that's awesome. But we need good teachers too, so please stay in the profession. And thank you for everything. Yes, and thank you for doing this, because you help our whole community. Like, we need to know more about this. Thank you all. I appreciate it. And Shannon's amazing. I've known Shannon for years. I'm not surprised that you're all over this. Actually, I gave you when I.
I'm everywhere and everything.
Well, thank you. But I walked past the display and I thought, Shannon. You know, so this is nice to see how this all came together. So thank you.
Trustee.
What's absolutely amazing too is that while we were doing these, we were learning other skills. Like, my kids learned the art of display making, making signage for museums, because they actually created a secondary website to give information about all of the cultural objects in each of those displays. And like, they brought items from their homes.
Wow.
And it was very it's hard to measure the work, effort, and emotional connectivity that went into this.
They spent several hours putting those displays.
Yeah.
Days,
Yeah,
hours. I was so
There was
tired.
an energy in the building when the students were there that was just awesome. Them running around, literally putting things together.
That's
They were,
awesome.
and it was fantastic. Yes.
Trustee Dooley.
Yeah, so I know Shannon and I have talked before about her wanting more help. So this is amazing, and I, as someone who's half Korean, except I am 43 now, when I was growing up, I didn't have that. In my schools, I was the diversity where I grew up. So the fact that you saw this need, especially in our community, that's kind of why I moved out here for my kid, is because I wanted him to grow up and be exposed to the diversity that I didn't get to have. And the fact that you had these windows into the cultures of our Asian community is so profound and important, because even though everybody lives here, they might not understand each other's culture at all, right? Mm-hmm. And even though you all go to school together, it's the same thing. So I really appreciate all the work that you did. That's really huge. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. It's my monster drink too. I'm a little hyper. But it's such a huge thing for our community and for our library. So thank you for bringing it to us. And I hope that we're able to expand it and make it even more every year going forward. So thank you.
I hope you guys are ready.
I'm ready. Our community's ready.
Big can of
We need
worms
it.
right here for these kids.
Okay, Trustee Gurumurti.
Yes, so I have to say this because amazing work, and when I was walking past this, I was just deeply connected. When I saw the blouse, I mean, it's just like you go back to your own, and you start thinking. So I think you've connected through these displays and, everything that you've done to, even broader community. So hats off to you. And I would say you have now set the bar for high schoolers very high. So I hope a lot of high schoolers are watching this, because it's so inspiring, so amazing. I have a high schooler, so I am going to go home and talk about this. So as a teacher, I know it's not easy to start a club. I know that, hearing from the kids and stuff. So it's amazing that you support it, and I'm already getting the energy from you, just, being here. So this is fantastic, and all the, thoughts that you have to move this forward and the future as well. And to the library staff and, everyone, you have created this channel. Now, all the high schoolers, they're going to, they have this now already, and they're going to say, I can reach out to the broader community through the library. So amazing job. So thank you for doing this, and let us know how we can support as well.
Yes.
Okay, thanks again. Thank you. Okay, all right, move along on our agenda here now. Thanks again. We appreciate you being here tonight, too, to share all the information with us. That's great news. Okay, right now we have public comment. Our first public comment is coming up. So in order to hear all citizen comments at a reasonable hour, the library board requests that speakers respect the 3-minute time limit. This is not a question-answer session. However, it's an opportunity to voice your thoughts with the library board. Citizens must state their first, last name, and their address. Okay, anyone want to come forward? All right, moving along then, seeing none. Move along with reports. Now, I know that our end of the year report is not going to be happening because students are off on vacations and everything, but we will we'll ask for a report today. Did you have something that you wanted to say, even though I know you're really technically on vacation? Technically.
So we'll give our end of the year report on August 25th.
Yeah,
That's like
good.
when next time me and Rid are both available. But I do have a May report, like a monthly
Great.
report to give. So I'll begin with the tween and teen library programs. The STEAM Leap into Science program was held on May 3rd. Leap into Science is a national program that integrates open-ended science activities with children's books for children and their families. Students in grades 4 to 5 participated in fun, hands-on learning about wind. Moving on to Between the Pages, a tween book club trivia program was held on May 18th, where guests read A Place to Belong by Cynthia Cadota and answered trivia questions relating to the book. Tail Wagging Reading Buddies was a program held on May 25th, and it is an opportunity to provide a comfortable, non-judgmental space for a child and their family, if they desire, to read to a therapy dog to encourage the students' reading skills, confidence, and their love for reading. Now I'll move on to the Teen Space update. During May 22nd, there were 143 guests who visited Teen Space. However, there were no Teen Space conducted on May 6th, May 9th, or May 30th. Moving on to the Teen Advisory Board update. The 9th and the final TAB meeting for the 2021-2022 school year was held on May 27th. The meeting started with a welcome and an icebreaker to help get to know each other. Following the welcome, TAB officer elections for the 2022 and 2023 school year was held and new TAB officers were welcomed. Information about the summer reading program and the teen volunteer program was also shared. There were 8 people in attendance. And now I'll share some of the upcoming programs for July. The Korean Lantern Craft will be on July 9th. Parkour training with Phoenix Free Running Academy will be on July 26th, and Tail Wagging Reading Buddies will be on July 27th. The Teen Stop feature display for May recognizes Asian Pacific American Heritage Month with young adult fiction titles. Thank you.
Wow, I want to say that we really appreciate both of you that are here at every meeting, and you always have so much to tell us about. Both Rita and Habhe always have a lengthy report and a very involved. They've been so involved as student representatives of this board, and this summer will be the end. Their final report will be in August, I believe it is, right? In August, so. We don't want to let you go without telling you how much we've appreciated. And I know you get to sleep in now, for maybe a little while, till your mom and dad find out what it is. They'll get you up and get you moving around for the rest of the summer, I'm sure. But, I know that in May, in particular, May and June have been terribly busy times for students in high school. And I'm surprised that you were able to even have meetings and the tween and the teen program going then. So thank you for all that you've done for this library and for the community. We appreciate it so much. We never tell you enough, so. Thank you. Yeah, good for applause, right. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, moving along, I have 3 items to discuss under the president's report. First of all, I want to thank all of you for all the board committees for discussing their goals and coming up with the goals for their committees. And also, not only the board members that were on committees that discussed and really had presented thoughtful goals and everything, your diligence has really paid off because we have some great goals that'll move us forward. It'll be our roadmap, not only for the board, but also for staff. And staff had input also in all of these goals. So this is going to be our roadmap going forward for 22 and 23. So I would expect that this will be nighttime reading for all of you, like from now until, for a couple of months at least, till we get all these memorized. So thanks again for all your work, because I know it's a busy time of the year, and I appreciate your diligence for sure. Also, item B, it was brought to my attention by Trustee Mitchner that when all board members receive a communication and you answer by replying all, in some cases this could be construed as a violation of the Open Meetings Act. So I don't even think about it sometimes when I reply something, so I know a lot of times it's not intentional, but even though we're not voting and we're not really conveying a decision in the reply all, it still could be a gray area that could be misconstrued. So the communication in question actually was sent by Director Farkas to all board members with an attachment that had the completed strategic plan, the strategic RFP, the request for a proposal that the committee had worked on, the strategy committee had worked on that, and was bringing it to us. So this was an informational message. No decision was requested, but board members could make suggestions or anything. It was a draft. It wasn't anything official. The RFP is public information and is included in your packet. It's also an action item for the agenda. So personally, in fact, I even brought my Open Meetings Act manual right here today. And I'll quote from the act here, because using email to distribute handouts, agenda items, statistical information, or other such material should be permissible under the OMA, particularly when copies of that information are also made available to the public before or during a meeting. So I really don't feel that we would have had a problem with this, but I'm just going to caution you all that when you reply all, it could be a gray area that we could get in trouble at some point in time. So just wanted to mention that. Clearly, there was no intent to keep the information from the public, and I'm quite sure there was no OMA violation. However, I strongly suggest that members please remember, look at who's getting the message when you do this in the future. So, yes, Trustee Mitchner.
Thank you. I just want to piggyback since you brought me up, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And absolutely, you can distribute anything you want. And I think in the past, when we remember, we sometimes even say don't reply all. And the caution point is more along the lines of the opinions given or the extra information given. So like when people come back and say, oh, I think this is a great idea in XYZ, that's where it's a little bit more sticky. So that's kind of where I was coming from. But absolutely, we can distribute, well, especially you and Julie, let me be clear, can distribute things, but we have to be careful of the back and forth. That's where it gets tricky. And I don't want to sue. I'm just trying to look out. I'd be okay.
Well, we need police on the board. We need police.
I'm just trying to help.
Keep us on the street.
Just trying to help.
We sure want to do it. Okay, so thank you for that. Item C here, I just want to tell you that last Friday, Director Farkas and I went on a little adventure out of the country to Canada. We went to Canada.
I want to make sure it's clear.
Visiting 4 libraries throughout Chatham, Kent, kind of our version of Thelma and Louise, but without the jail time. So, I mean, we almost got in trouble, but we didn't really get in trouble. So the chief librarian of all, their setup is so different than ours. It's hard for us to compare, but it's such a great idea to see other libraries, to visit. I really encourage you while you're on vacation, pop into the library somewhere and just see how it's different and what your like is and what your dislike is, and see what you feel like when you walk in the door of other libraries. It's really important. I've been doing this also with the city manager and the Parks and Rec director, seeing senior centers, and everyone has its own personality, just like libraries, every library, but there's more structure to it. But it was very interesting. We learned a lot while we were there, and that's why I made you a copy of the annual report and passed it out so that you can see what their annual report looks like. They have so many libraries. The chief librarian, Tanya Sharp, and her board chairman sort of were our tour guides for the day, and they were very gracious hosts. Great lunch, too, that I'll never forget for a long time. And they planned the entire day and were traveling with us, drove us around and showed us.
Nice.
They have 11 libraries that under their jurisdiction, and they're so different. They go from a community of 1,000 to, a much larger community, but all of their library, all their communities put together pretty much is just about our population for one city. So it was very, very different, but it was interesting to me, and I know Julie too, how they put their even little bitty communities, with only 1,000 people or something or other, had the perfect little library, and it was so neat, and people really are using it. But unfortunately, the staffing and everything, they can only have them open two or 3 days a week and maybe limited hours. But each one had its personality, and it was fun to see them. And I was particularly impressed we took a lot of pictures, or Julie did, and notes, and we were particularly impressed with the Chatham, the larger library, the mothership, actually, of all the libraries. And they had 2 very customer-friendly history rooms in their library. One was a genealogy room and one was a history room. So we got lots of ideas of how they operated their history room and things. So you're always going to come back with ideas when you visit another library. So I appreciated Julie taking me on that little adventure, even though we almost were caught at the border. We were able to manage, we were in the wrong line. We were in the wrong line. Nexus line. But we looked so innocent. Apparently, they just wanted to get rid of us. So get out of here is what they said, basically. So that's enough. That's all of my report. But it was a great time, and we'll share some of the other ideas with you coming forward. Yes, Trustee Dooley.
Oh, really quick, if it's okay.
Sure.
I really loved the most popular checkouts in their annual report, and if we could do something like that, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Trustee Missioner.
I just love all of this. And I'm with Trustee Dooley. I like that, and I like, do you all see that picture? Like, that encapsulates, it's just like the little kids under programs. Like, look at the diversity there, and that's kind of what I was speaking to in our annual report. What a beautiful picture. Gives you hope. But I also love the little numbergrams, and let me tell you, I am a therapist. I am not a mathematician. I'm not an engineer, but I love the numbergrams. They made me like numbers. How they do that? It's so fun the way they did it. The colors. This is a really good annual report, and it's you all obviously gave us like the paper version, but something like this is really inspirational. And thank you for taking the trip to do this, to do that research. Bring us some lunch next time. But you know what? That's really cool. At some point, I know that there was under reports, President Crawford, there was a number 2, page 19 and 21. I did have notes on that for Yolanda Hockaday Dennis's report. So I don't know if that was missed or if we're going to get to it later, but I did have some notes on it, so I don't want to steal your thunder, but I do want to make
sorry,
some.
what?
That's okay. It's on page 1, and it's under reports number 2.
The teen space, right?
Teen Space
Teen
Annual
Space.
Report by Yolanda Hockaday Dennis.
Oh.
That they said was going to be in August.
No. She gave a report, and I have notes on it, and I'd like to address those. It's number 2 under reports. Do you see it on page 1? Y'all see that, right? It's just,
Teen space annual report.
yes.
Oh,
Yep.
Staff liaison?
Yep.
Oh, all right, I'm sorry. I didn't think that
So
was a separate thing. I thought it
it's
was
a
all one thing.
See, it is separate. I hope everybody got to read it, because it was
Why don't you go ahead
really.
and say what you wanted to say about it?
Okay, and I hope everybody got to read it. I'm sure Director Farkas did. It was really good. So if you didn't get to read it, It's really good. And I don't know if you've met Ms. Dennis, but she's been here for a while, and I'll just share. Before I was even on the board, I was on this board, I was on Youth Assistance Board, and Director Farkas was too. And they were youth assistants, the library, and I believe the police department, and youth assistant. Parks and Rec. Thank you. Thank you. It was a team partnership to make sure that the teens in our community felt heard, because, they wanted a place to belong. They didn't feel like they belonged places. So just a little background, because that happened it was before my 8 years here, right? But I happened to be on youth assistance, and we kicked in money for Ms. Hockaday Dennis, to be able to be a part of our system in this manner. And she's done a fantastic job. This report is really good. Her overview talks a lot about COVID times, which, are relevant, but also the givers that we have in our community, those people who kicked in. We've used those air purifiers, right, to make sure our kids are safe, and also even the people in the cafe that made sure that food did not go to waste, but that our kids got cookies and things of that nature. There's a lot of other really good notes there too. It's pretty extensive. She did a fantastic job, so I wanted her to get the credit. You don't always see her. Her hours are a little different than most. She's part-time, but she does a lot of work, and I think sometimes you're like that, potentially that thankless person, not on purpose, but just because you're not front-facing. She's not at the circulation desk or anything like that, but she does great wonders with our teens. I made a few notes specifically, so yes, definitely look through that, because there's some good stuff in there. But I wanted to applaud her for her work, because she's been here for at least, before I was on the board, so like at least 8 years, doing great work. And then she did mention, and I don't want this to get overlooked because April's gone, she mentioned that April had it on her notes to make sure that the Teen Space got a new Xbox and some games, as well as a TS cart for games and supplies. So just noting that, because things can fall through the cracks. We're all like doubling up and doing a lot of work, right? So I just wanted to mention that. And then she also mentioned, very importantly, that she wanted to get the staff training on how to support our youth when they're in crisis, distressed, or otherwise in need of support. And it sounded like from the report, she sees that this is a big need. Our teens are definitely going through a lot, but the way that we approach them is important too. So making sure that we're not stereotypically treating our teens, but treating them like people. Sometimes they don't feel that way. And that was the purpose of her being brought in. She also mentioned it's crucial because the building monitor used to help her out a lot with that. They tag teamed a lot. And of course, she mentioned that the building monitor was out a lot this year, and that created a big gap. The void was really obvious, and now we know that position is open. Tia Marie did a great job of just building bridges and bringing people together. We're all aware of that. But now that there's a gap, yes. So just whatever we can do to support, I just want to make sure that her notes, I don't want her to be erased, I want her notes to be acknowledged, and I want her report to be brought in. It's in the packet, and it's numbered, so I want to make sure that we hear her, and also thank her for the kudos, but also for the things that she's mentioning that we need to make sure that we do. Sure. She does a really great job.
So the information will be shared with the new department head, because as we plan for the fall, we want to make sure that everything that she has, because she is the point of contact. She really is our wonderful liaison for our teens. We will fill the position that she's noted, because we do want to give her that support, so that also will be coming. And I'm happy to tell you that, the library supports 100% now this position. It's not the partners anymore because of COVID. So the library took on, and I put that in the budget for us to continue this program, for her to have a position and to be still working with us. So I think that says a lot to you as board members, to support budgets that I think this is important and should continue, and it is, and it's being continued by just the library. We appreciate the partners still, because they still reach out, but monetarily, it's been the library now that does that.
That's really good to know, Julie. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I think it's cool to know the foundation of it, but it's also nice that we didn't just let it go to the side, because y'all, she's a great employee.
And the importance of it. I mean, these kids have somewhere very positive to go to after school. I mean, look at the numbers, 984. If you don't think that's a lot, it truly is.
Yes, can you imagine?
We did deal with COVID a lot this year, and that did keep the numbers down. I hope, as fall comes along, that we're going to be able to continue to move forward and promote with the new freshman class coming in and then making it also well-known again for that place to be. So, yep, absolutely. We worked with the hours of the high school. It's now goes later because we know the high school gets out later.
Yeah.
So we really tried very hard to work with and accommodate, knowing that the teen population is very important to us.
And that they're appreciated, that we want them in the library.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Yep,
much.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to say, thank you, Trustee Mishner, for bringing that, because my son is part of the 984 kids who's there, and he is like, it's a safe space for them, and it's an exciting space. He's like, I want to play with my kids, I want to, spend time with them, so don't pick me up until after.
We know we've built that in, yes.
It's an amazing.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, moving on, I know that our treasurer, Chirakuri, he's in India right now, I
Yes.
believe. But the report was in the packet, and I don't know if you have any questions or concerns, you can ask
Absolutely. Page
Director-
25 is your
Director
overview.
Farkas.
I just have one quick one,
Sure.
if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. With our unrealized gains, losses on investments, I looked at the $108,000 number, and I was just wondering, should we be taking them, like, under our investment piece? I was wondering if we should be taking a more detailed look at how our investments are allocated and how they're being managed. And I know these are not actual losses, so that's good. I want to say that for everybody to hear. I get that, and I think everybody else should too. I don't want to alarm. But I do think we should be aware, as we haven't cashed out our investments, so it's not a loss, but it's just a concern to think about if there's anything differently that we need to do going forward. I've been on boards before where we've had to look at numbers and think, okay, should we change up the way that we invest? Should we change our company? Should we? Just, the discussion happens.
We don't have that luxury because all of our investments are through the city. So it's all the money is together in one larger pot that gets invested with the city.
So they take care of all of that
Correct.
line item?
Yes.
Okay. And how do do you have insight on how they manage that?
I can get that for the
That'd be
board,
helpful,
but
just so I can put
yes.
it together in my brain,
Sure.
Julie.
Yep.
Thank you so much. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have any questions regarding the finance report? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the director's report.
So I always like to start on page 36 with our years of service anniversaries that are coming up for our employees. And we have a number of them for July that we'll be celebrating. Mei Shi is one of our subs in information services. She was a librarian who retired and is still sticking with us and comes back regularly. In fact, she'll be on the desk a lot this summer helping us out with our shortage. But May has been with us 22 years. So thank you, May.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Keith Perfect from our facilities department is celebrating 10 years. Lisa Brinkman from Support Services, she's one of our shelvers, 6 years. Donna Filipiak, Support Services, she's one of our clerks and she's celebrating 6 years. Tracy Pelletier, Support Services, one of our clerks, and she's celebrating 5 years. Barbara Cook, our administrator, who is on vacation right now, which I'm glad, she's getting a break. And she's from our admin office and our bookkeeper, all those fabulous finances that she helps me with, and she's celebrating 4 years. And Dana Britannic from administration, who as our communications manager is celebrating 3 years. So very excited to be wishing them well and thanking them for their years of service to us. Then below that, I wanted to capture, we had Lieutenant Kolakowski stop in. She needed a new library card, so we made sure she got one. And she is officially reading and checking out from the library, and we asked if she wouldn't mind doing a photo for us. So there she is. And then at the very bottom of that page, I wanted to point out that we have a wonderful relationship with our student transition program, which is through the Novi Community School District. So these are adults in their transition schooling that takes them up to the age of 26. And we have, Michael is pictured here, but we also have Rohit and Liz who come into our building during the week, during the school year, and they help with a number of tasks. And in the admin office, in the facilities department, and then we also have students that are working in our cafe. And this is all due to that student transition program and the partnership with the cafe, the school district, and that program that they offer for adult learning. So we love having the students come in and visit with us and spend time. So appreciate, this photo is with Linda and with Emily, and Emily's done some programming also with the student transition program as well, and it's just been a great partnership. Page 37, we did not win the John Cotton Dana Award, but we did apply for it. So I wanted you to see that. That was the work of Dana. It is a marketing award that is offered to public libraries. And though we didn't win it, I just wanted you to know that these are types of things that we do look at and submit. Her main focus was Lakeshore Lending Library, which, was huge in terms of marketing, and you had to have a specific campaign in mind. So we will definitely look again, because I believe we have lots of things that we can share and promote ourselves and possibly win contests with. So wanted you to see that. I included the statistics for the building. As you can see, we're still averaging less than 1,000, coming in per day. Pre-COVID, we were seeing 1,500, so still not seeing everyone, but I do believe summer reading will bring in some people that we've missed in the last year. And I'm happy to entertain any other questions you might have for my report.
Okay.
You go first.
Just an observation in regard to the daily use of the building. With the exception of a couple days, we have no visitors between 9 and 10 o'clock
At night.
a.m.
We're not open, right?
We're not open.
Yeah, we
till
open at 10.
Oh, well, and then like 9 to 10 and like 5:17 and 5:18.
The cafe. The cafe
That's
gets,
what,
yes.
that's what's bringing in, okay,
Yes.
the cafe.
The cafe started opening back at 8:30 in the morning. And then if we have a meeting, it might be a before hours meeting as well, which is right off of the lobby. So that will be some numbers that come and go at that time.
That explains it. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Trustee Mischer?
Thank you. Julie, good report. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Very encouraging. I did want to share on page 42 in your report, you did have the Unity in the Community Juneteenth celebration,
Yes.
Miss Lowe's barbecue food
Yes.
truck listed, and I was able to attend and actually say a few words, and I just wanted to speak to that because this was a big thing that we've been working on for 2+ years, and it was the first Juneteenth celebration we had, and y'all, I don't know, I know you popped in a few times, so I was trying to keep my hand attached to my body when I saw you, but you saw the joy in that room, and you all, ask Julie if you don't believe me. It was so infectious and such a happy time. And I know Kathy's a history person, so you missed that.
Well, I was there.
Yeah,
in the
she
back
was
of the
there.
room. Yeah, I was
Were
there.
you there?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
did you see the traveling museum?
Yes.
Oh my
yes, I
gosh,
did,
Kathy,
yeah.
why don't you say hi to me? Because Jason
You were
told me
way up in the front.
Jason
You
told
were
me he
way
saw
up
you
in the front.
outside, and I'm like, I wanted to see Kathy. I want to say hi, but anyway, so I missed out. Okay.
Huge kudos to Gail Anderson.
Can we talk about that? So I wanted to just mention, Gail pulled together such a nice group. Music, variety of music, the steel pan, the traveling Black Museum was really cool. And then a lady that was involved with our local AKA branch, she had things from her ancestors were actually enslaved in the house. So if you know anything about the slave trade, they had people enslaved in the house and in the fields. That's how they separated them. And usually if you're enslaved in the house, you might have got some more privilege, you might have been able to eat better, maybe somebody gave you heirlooms, etc. So she had some, this crystal. The crystal that she showed, it was like, you'd never seen anything like it before. Some of the stuff she passed around for us to touch, some of the stuff she said, oh, no, just look at it. But you know what? The cool thing was, I was like, okay, because Cannon got to speak too. He actually read one page from this book. We got this from Barnes & Noble, actually. It's got a lot of good information in it. But he read one page from this book, and then I talked about our journey. But we were only supposed to be there for, like, that little piece, and he was like, let's stay, because he really wanted slows, and we know that they run out. He was like, can we stay? Okay, let's stay a little longer. Okay, let's wait until they're done. Okay, this is really good. We just got to stay. So we stayed to the whole thing. We did miss the mac and cheese from Slows. We did miss the chicken. There's a lot of things sold out, but you know what? We did not miss out. I did miss out on Kathy, so I'm sorry about that. But we didn't miss out because it was an incredible program, and I just want to thank you.
It's Gail.
I know it's Gail, but did you hire her?
Yes, I
So
did.
there's that. There's that. Did you keep her employed? Did you keep her retained?
Yes.
And I think she had a lot of heart
She did.
there. But there was
Thank
a
you.
lot of people with heart there, and I just want to thank the board for finally allowing Juneteenth to be celebrated in the way that they did, because you all also made that a thing, right? So thank you. That's
You're
it.
welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Tara. I
Well,
appreciate that.
we told Gail, I told
Yes.
Gail that this is only going to get bigger. It'll
Yes.
get bigger. I was really, I had missed the step dancers because I was in the building, but I wasn't there. And so they were so wonderful in a line, in the slowest line. They performed for me so I could see, so that I could see the step dancing. So they did it. They were embarrassed and they said, well, should we do it here? Yes, do it here in the parking lot. Let everybody see. Nobody saw it. So anyway, it was great. Kudos to Gail
Yes.
for
I'll
that.
be
I mean,
happy
I
to
tried
pass
to
it
tell
on.
her how much we appreciated all that she did for that because, you know, there was nothing to follow. So she had to invent a lot of the things and
She did.
gather up information and.
And I
get,
already know
you
that she's already thinking of other things. And one thing actually that was brought to her attention, but just timing was not right, is we would like to incorporate Black-owned businesses and stuff into it in the future. So that will be a component that she will investigate
Well,
for
I
the
know
next
we were
year.
competing in the region for larger, you know, communities. We were sort of competing. There were two ladies in line in front of me that had just come from West Bloomfield, and they told me everything that was there. So, you know, if you have limited performers and everything, it's kind of hard for us to maybe pay as much or whatever to get the same. But I know Gail will work her magic, and
Yes,
she'll
she
do something,
does.
so it'll be bigger and better
Yeah.
next year. So you all missed out. Okay.
I
Trustee
did
Julie,
miss out.
You did miss out,
I
yes.
did. I was at a baseball tournament. Otherwise, I would have been there. But I wanted to make sure to thank Trustee Mishner for bringing Juneteenth to the attention of the community.
Thank you.
Because without that advocacy, this would have never come to light for the board or for the community. So thank you for that. And I'm so glad that you were able to go. And I'm hoping that I can attend next year. And I don't have a baseball tournament. I can't promise that.
No. We're
but
not
yeah.
keeping attendance records
I'm just really
here.
happy
People have
for.
things to do.
I'm happy for our community, though. That was really special. So thank you, Gail, too, because that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, kudos to Gail for sure. All right. Is that the end of your report, Director Farkas? Okay, and no other questions or comments about that? All right, we'll have a second public comment. In order to hear all citizens' comments at a reasonable hour, the library board requests that speakers respect the 3-minute time limit. This is not a question-answer session. However, it's an opportunity to voice your thoughts with the library board. Citizens must state their first, last name, and address. And we
Hi.
have, okay, go ahead.
Jason Mishner, Novi resident. I just wanted to come down and point out what a positive meeting this has been, full of like all this good news. Talked about an amazing program that involved a Novi High School organization, our amazing Novi community teachers, and the amazing library staff. And I think that is what I wanted when I moved here to Novi. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Like, I feel like that is what makes us Novi together and what makes us great as a city, that kind of collaboration. So I just want to say thank you to Julie and for the board for allowing that kind of activity to take place and really allowing for our community to shine. Because I feel like the Juneteenth event is another great example when our community is allowed to express itself in its complete fullness and everybody's just allowed to be them, who they are, with all their heritage and their culture and their backgrounds and experience. I feel like that's what makes this city amazing. And it doesn't take very much. It just takes a removal of a few barriers here, saying yes to a few things here, taking the chances on a few things there. You get these really amazing experiences that we all can share together. Like, I got to be at the Juneteenth thing and watching my son play like the steel pan. He was just so fascinated. And that's an experience he would not have had otherwise. So I want to say thank you to Julie, to the board for facilitating that. And I really hope that, especially with you guys doing the RFP for this strategic plan, that one of the components that you include in that, whoever the vendor is you choose, that they go out and they pull the community in so the community can be a part of that strategic plan, and the community can make the Novi Library great, and the Novi Library can help the community shine. Because I feel like the more we highlight who we are as Novi, I feel like the better everything gets. So thank you all for your effort. Really, really thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Kind of a limited audience tonight, I guess. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for your input, for sure. The reports that have been in the packet, so hopefully you've all had a chance to look at the reports, but if any chairmen have anything to add, now would be the time to tell us. Yes, Trustee Dooley.
Thank you. I just wanted to call out really quick for the events marketing and fundraising report, which is on page 64. So a couple things to note is that we're really excited about the opportunity for online library card sign up coming up very soon in July. So I wanted to point that out. But also, one of the big things that was brought up in our committee meeting by Julie was, and we have such, one of the goals that we've tried to maintain as events marketing and fundraising is to create more of a relationship with our friends. The Friends of the Novi Library is such an amazing organization. Thank you, Brian, for going to their meeting. Yeah. We're trying to rotate attending. One of the things that she pointed out to me that Julie did that I didn't even think about is that we are all able to become members too. And it really isn't that expensive. So for the Board of Trustees to possibly, each of us can make that decision for ourselves, but it's encouraged that we also become members of the Friends. And we also talked about, helping to promote them more to our community too, because they're a great group of women, but it's actually open to everybody. Right now, it's mostly women that are on the Friends of the Novi Library. So, I definitely am going to sign up our family. I just wanted to encourage the Board of Trustees too as well, if you're able. And then also, one of the things that the Friends asked us that I wanted to point out today is that if they have events, if we could show up and be more present as volunteers, if we're able. If we're able to fit that in our schedule, whenever they have events, and we can lend our time to be there and show our presence, I think they would be so grateful. They do so much for us, and they really help supplement to bring so many amazing things to our community and to NPL that I think it would be only fitting for us to reciprocate. So I just wanted to give that shout out and just make that note while we're all up here together. And then I think that's it. That's it for me. That was the big one.
They will be coming to our meeting too, also to do a presentation in the not too distant future.
Yes, I think July.
So they'll be coming.
We'll have them come for they usually give an annual report and bring everybody up to speed on what they've been doing.
And I am attending their meeting.
You are?
Yes. So,
And just to piggyback from Trustee Dooley, thank you, I appreciate you doing that. They do have 8 events, so Summer Song Fest is their biggest, programming this summer, and it's on Thursday nights. The first one kicks off on Thursday, June 30th. It is dueling pianos, starting at 6:30. I can tell you that we're close to 200 in attendance, which is our largest.
Yeah.
And it is at Paradise Park because they have a larger venue and it's outside and just gives an opportunity for, families really to be involved in the music and the night. So they are on the calendar. There are 8 of them, and if you can join in at any time, we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, they're wonderful. And now, since you're mentioning the Friends programs and everything, you should all know that the Historical Commission also is located in the library, also puts on programs. We just had our last program for the season, but then we'll be starting up again in the fall. But very interesting programs, and I would love to see any of your faces at these wonderful educational, informational programs, because we try to, we're not going to duplicate what the Friends are doing, and we're on a different night when we have our programs, but they've been very well attended, and they were really doing great before COVID, and then, of course, we've had, almost 2 years with no programming, and then they're building back up again. So always, great programs, all informational. So hope to see some of you at their programs too. And it's for all ages, once again, usually interesting for all ages. Any other chairmen have reports? Yeah.
I just
yes.
have a question.
Sure.
Yeah. So like the teen, is there like the upcoming events for the Friends events listed here in the packet? Or I do get email invitation, right? That I do get for Friends events.
Do you mean for teen events?
No, for the
concerts?
Friends events.
Yeah,
Like
there-
events,
it's in the
Friends of the
packet.
Library.
They send out their own newsletter. So if you're not getting it, and it is based on membership, that you would receive it.
But the concerts are on page 41?
Yes.
Oh, there you
Page
go.
There, it should
41,
be in
they're
the
listed?
e-news.
Yep.
I know I put a larger one in, I think, last month in the May packet, but it should be in the e-news that I put out there.
Here it is.
It might be very small print, but page
It's highlighted
41.
in blue.
Page 41 for you.
But they do have other events too, right?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
but this is,
If you're a member and you give them your email address, there's events that they send you the emails. I've been a member like for about 15, 20 years now. And it's like, they're almost like once every 6 weeks or something like that. And they're very interesting events. They're usually, somebody from the Detroit News or the Detroit Free Press or some architect or some engineer. They're, depending on what your interest is, they're very interesting. I go to 2 or 3 events a year that they have in addition to the gala, that they're just things that, whatever your interests are a little bit more eye-catching for some people than others, but they're great
It's
events.
also in the
and they're
Engage magazine. You'll see it
wonderful
in the
people that
Engage
put them
magazine.
on, very knowledgeable, experienced people that put them on.
and Priya, to add to that, not only is there the Summer Song Fest going on, but in talking with Gail, they set up Tuesdays, right around the lunch hour, because they know that there's a large population at that time too that's looking for something to do during that early afternoon. So there's going to be some Tuesday, on the patio, some music on Tuesday afternoons. Yep. So just the calendar, but if you want to send me a quick email, I can send you a few things.
Yeah, I will do
Okay.
that. I don't know if it would help, like, just to include a page of upcoming events in the packet too for.
Sure.
Okay,
Thanks, Julie.
all right. End of committee reports then, I guess. We have matters for library board action. We have one of the first items that we're going to be voting on tonight is the strategic planning request for proposals that was completed and the draft was made permanent, I guess, from the committee. So you've all had a chance, hopefully, to take a look at it and read through it. And I will now entertain a motion to approve that request for proposals. Anybody?
I'll make
Member
that
Stirring?
motion.
Member Stirring looked like you wanted to make that motion.
Well, I will make the motion to approve, but I think we have to add in the dates in section A and B.
Which I will take care of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure this was gonna happen first before I could start that process of when
Right.
it.
Okay, okay.
yes,
I
going
actually spoke out to make the motion, if that's okay, members.
That's certainly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then Julie, you can make the motion, trustee Julie?
Yeah.
And then second?
I can second.
Okay.
I'll second.
Guru Murthy, second. Discussion,
I have discussion.
yes.
So I just, I love it. It looks like a smart idea, I think, to have RFP for this. It's a big process. And I don't know if we're also encouraged to do this because April was a big part of that in the past. And now with her not being here, I think also just having a firm that specializes in this might be a good way to pass it on. I know that whoever we get that consults for us just has to be really, they have to understand what libraries are. So I just wanted to throw that note out and understand who we are in those two aspects. I also want to make sure that the board has say throughout the process and that they bring things to us as needed. So we don't lose what we do. But also I like the idea of obviously the community being involved too. I think that was one of the things in the past when April used to conduct some of the sessions, she would come with her questionnaires to if you were there for a historical commission or you were there for parent to parent or whatever it was, she had a survey for you. So I think she really tracked people down and make sure that everybody's voice was heard, and I think it made our library better. So I just don't want to lose that piece since it would be more of an outside opportunity. But I do support it.
Okay, any other discussion? Anyone else?
If we approve it tonight, Julie, what dates would you put in A and B?
I'm hoping to get it out next week is what my thought is. What I have to do is I'll be working with the city to, it goes under their format to go out, so it can go out on BidNet. And then I have a list of strategic planning companies that I'm aware of through other directors that I'll put out then on our listserv. So it'll go out pretty wide, not only to just the general, bid process, but also to the library world.
Okay.
So I'm hoping by next week yeah.
Okay.
I didn't put a date because I didn't know where we were with it, and that's the only thing really. The dates that you see on page 68, I'm pretty close to working with those. If you can see kind of what I'm looking for the written questions to be submitted. So see where it says library issues RFP, I put June 27th, that's my target. So I'm kind of going from there.
Okay, well, I was
Fast as
looking
I
more
can
in
type
the A
tomorrow.
and B section.
I work Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, okay,
And I did that purposely.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Member Bartlett, do you have something to say?
Yeah, well, as she mentioned, the dates are all contingent upon it passing tonight. But, and I also want to focus the board on section F. We spent quite a bit of time on this in committee and discussing these items, and this is the proposal content requirements, which is what that's what we're looking for from the vendor, and it's fairly comprehensive. It's a fairly good list that says, okay, this is what you have to submit before we're going to look, we're going to evaluate and choose a vendor at one point. And I mean, in there, it was mentioned in public comment, a work plan that, discusses the methodology, how you're going to, go forward with different groups, that's in there. All those items in there, there's 10 items in there that go into quite a bit of detail. Like I said, the committee spent a lot of time on this, so this is what we're asking somebody to come back with us, so we should get a really good evaluation of who's responding to us. Thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, no further discussion, then I will ask the secretary to call the roll. Oh, wait a minute, did we get a motion? Yeah, we got a motion.
We have the motion.
Thinking all of a sudden, it was such a long discussion, I lost myself for a minute. Okay, and we have a second.
Yes.
Okay, all right, now you may call the roll.
Trustee Mitchner,
Yes.
trustee Stirring,
Yes,
trustee Bartlett votes yes, trustee Crawford,
Yes,
trustee Dooley,
Yes.
trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
okay. And you've all had a chance to take a look at the 2023 calendar for library closings. Hope you've all had a chance to look at that on page 70, and we need a motion to approve that calendar. And Member Bartlett, do you want to make that a motion?
I move to approve the calendar for 2023.
Thank you.
I
And Member
second.
Murthy is going to second it. Now we'll have discussion. Any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Trustee Stirring?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
question. What does, I mean, I don't understand what for consideration for closure on December 23 and December 30.
Those are dates that we are not officially closed to the public at this moment. So what I'm asking is that the board approve for the 23rd of December and the 30th to be closed. It falls on the weekend and it's an actual Saturday. I think we're gonna be very low in terms of usage of the building, and I just assume close. It's not a paid holiday, it would just be a closure.
So for the calendar, that for consideration for closure would really be removed.
No, I would ask that, right, if you don't approve that, I'm looking for you to add the 23rd and the 30th as additional closures to the 2023. Yes, those are two additional closures.
Okay,
Yep.
so the motion, whoever made it, includes December 23 and includes December 30?
I'll amend the motion to approve those 2 days.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Second's okay
Second that
too?
too.
Okay,
Perfect.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for clarification.
okay. We already called the roll, right?
no, we're starting.
Trustee Stirring?
Yes,
Trustee Crawford?
Yes.
Trustee Bartlett votes yes. Trustee Dooley?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Mitchner?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, moving along to motion number 3, approve a rain date closure of the library building for parking lot maintenance. The staff will be on site working. However, the library will not be open that day. Is that correct?
That's only if we need it. So it's scheduled for August 12th. That's our in-service day, so it's already being taken care of. However, if I have a terrible weather day, I need another day. I would not have the building closed in terms of staff. They would report and work that day, but I would have it closed to the public because the whole parking lot has to be shut down in order for it to be completely resurfaced. So fingers crossed we don't have to, but I'd like to have it in my back pocket. And we use Patron Point now, which goes to all of our card holders. We won't have to send that out until just a couple days before if we know that that's gonna be the change. So that's the best thing about it is our
Okay.
card holders get all that information right away.
Okay, so this is just to
This
approve
is
a rain
just
date
in
if we need
case.
it?
Yep, this
right?
is just in case August 12th does not work out with weather.
Okay, okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion. Member Mishner, would you like to move?
I would like to make a motion
All
to
right.
get that
And
all
do we have a
approved.
second? Member Stirring, you want to make a second?
I'll
right?
second, I'll second.
All righty then, any discussion? I think we all are clear on this now. All right, please call the roll.
Trustee Crawford,
Yes.
trustee Dooley,
Yes.
trustee Garamurthy,
Yes.
trustee Mitchner,
Yes.
trustee Stirring,
Yes.
trustee Bartlett votes yes, motion passes 6-0.
Okay. And now we are going to be going into the closed session at this point in time. And I will need a motion to adjourn into closed session. Member Mishner?
Yes,
making
I'd
the
like to make a motion to adjourn into closed
Second,
session.
Member Dooley making the second. Any discussion about leaving their table? No? Okay. All right, then let's vote on that.
Trustee Dooley,
Yes.
trustee Garamurthy,
Yes.
trustee Mitchner,
Yes.
trustee Stirring,
Yes.
trustee Bartlett votes yes, trustee Crawford.
Yes.
And then we will come back out.
Yes.
To adjourn.
Yes, we will be back to the table. are going to be seeking a motion regarding the director's salary increase, correct? Okay. Is there anyone that would like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a
Trustee Mishner?
motion for
Okay.
the director's salary increase.
And do we need to say the increase? 3%?
3%.
Okay. And we have a second, the motion? Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, please call the roll.
Trustee Dooley,
Yes.
trustee Garamurthy,
Yes.
trustee Mitchner,
Yes.
trustee Stirring,
Yes.
trustee Bartlett votes yes, trustee Crawford.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. One thing before we adjourn, I just wanted to remind people, something that was in the packet, and for the minions that are watching our meetings at home from the comfort of their couch or whatever, I want to remind people that we really appreciate people donating items to the library. However, the gently used items that you bring to us. However, a friendly reminder, only drop them off. Don't leave them outside when the building is closed, because that really has been a problem in the past. So donations left outside the building are susceptible to damage and, from the weather and everything else, and would need to be thrown away. We can't keep them if they've been outside. So please, just a reminder to come when the library is open, to bring donations. We need your donations for sure, but only come when the library is open. So, and I want to say to everyone, thank you so much for your attention tonight, and thanks for the good meeting, because it was a very productive meeting. I think we got a lot covered, and I appreciate your time and your efforts for sure. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Member Mitchner was going to make the motion. Member Stirring, you probably want to second it,
I
don't
would
you?
like to second that motion.
No,
Well, I'll make the
and
motion,
so,
too.
All right, any discussion about adjourning the meeting? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Trustee Garamurthy,
Yes.
trustee Mitchner,
Yes.
trustee Stirring,
Yes.
trustee Bartlett votes yes, trustee Crawford,
Yes.
trustee Dooley.
Yes.
We are adjourned.
Okay, thanks, everyone.